Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel today. We're continuing our series on Connect 4, complete with phenomenal visual aids to help you. And today last week we talked about John the Baptist, how he connected with Christ out of destiny, out of who God made him to be. And that's true for all of us. We were designed with a hole in our soul because we're designed to need, crave, and walk in connection with God. But today we're looking at another person in Connect 4. This is the Samaritan woman at the well in John chapter 4. And I love this woman because she is so much just human, common like you and me every day. And she shows up at the well in John chapter 4. Jesus has been traveling all day walking and he's tired. It's about noon, so it's kind of this random time of the day to get water. Normally they got water in the morning and in the evening. But this chick shows up midday. Normally nobody's there, but here's this guy sitting by the well, and she shows up to get her water, and the guy sitting by the well, who's Jesus, says to her, "Hey, give me some water." She just drops her teeth right in that moment. She's like, "I can't believe, why, how is it that," and this is her reply, and this is where the connection starts. How is it that you, a Jewish man, would ask water from me, a Samaritan woman? You're defying all the cultural norms. Women and men aren't supposed to talk. I mean, it's inappropriate in that culture at this time in history. And the whole Jewish Samaritan thing, another big no, don't do that. I mean, these are supposed to be disconnected, like full-on disconnected. But Jesus bridges that gap. And when you look at the conversation that happens between Jesus and this woman, they go back and forth about 13 times. And throughout those 13 times, I want to just really encourage you, if you get a chance to read it, you'll see that this connection with Christ grows deeper, closer, and more intimate until finally she is totally changed. She is transformed when she connects with Jesus. And Jesus doesn't just do the connection in terms of just frothy and, like shallow, "Hey, how about the weather? Give me the water and zip it, lady." He doesn't do any of that. In fact, when he's talking with her, he continues to make the conversation get deeper and deeper. And he draws her in, like saying things that would make her more curious and be more interested and more engaged. And she continues to follow him into this conversation, connecting with Jesus until he drops a bombshell and says to her, "Hey, go call your husband." And then suddenly she gets virtually mute. "I have no husband." That's her reply. And Jesus says to her, "You're right. You've had 5 husbands, and the guy you're with now isn't your husband." And, what's she going to say to that? I mean, she's like kind of speechless. But I love that Jesus connects with her and knows who she is, all of her most painful experience, background, the deepest wounds. I mean, that's disconnected in her own self with other people. I mean, it's just wounded. And Jesus opens that up and says, "Hey, I want to talk to you about this." And this is a complete stranger to her, really. I mean, how long have they been talking? Maybe 10 minutes? And he just puts all of her junk in the trunk on the table in front of full exposure. And I love what happens here is because she tries to deflect. "Hey, let's talk about worship in Jerusalem because you Jews." So she changes subject real quick. But Jesus, he stays with her and he's still connected with her and he continues to connect deeper and deeper and deeper because at the end of the conversation, she says to him, "Well, we know that when Messiah comes, he will tell us all things." And Jesus says to her, "I who speak with you am he." So it's not only that he connects to her with all of her shortfalls and deficiencies and failures, but he also connects to her in who he fully is. He tells her, I would propose to you, can't make this, prove it historically, but I would propose to you that Jesus tells her his exact identity and puts it on the table, just says it out loud. "I am the Messiah." He tells her before he proclaims that to anybody else that we read of in the New Testament or in the Gospels. It's possible. And I find that very interesting and very fascinating because when we connect with Christ in a meaningful, deep, and intimate, vibrant relationship, I want to just say to you that we're changed. It transforms us. So last week we talked about John the Baptist connecting with Christ for identity. But I want to say today, not only is it our identity to connect with Christ, but it also transforms us. We're not the same. Connecting with Christ helps us live out our true divine blueprint. And when this lady connected with Jesus, it's not just that she had that connection in her own life. It says she returned to her village, and you can look at it explicitly. It says she found the men in her village and said to the men in her village, "Come and see a man who told me everything I ever did." So not only did she connect with Jesus, but now she's connecting others to Jesus. And that transformation, changing her on the inside, enabled her, empowered her to bring others to Jesus. And her whole town comes out to see Jesus. And after Jesus stays with them 2 days, they say this: we know beyond the shadow of a doubt, this man is the Savior of the world. And her transformation, connecting with Jesus, led others to connect to Jesus. And that's part of what it means for us with Christ. And that's my prayer for you this year, is that you would connect with Jesus so that others can connect to Jesus. When that happens, it's our identity, it's our purpose, our design, but it's also transforming to us and changes the world around us. So maybe that's helpful to think in terms of me. I want to change people, change situations, change your marriage, pick something. But maybe the first point of changing everything external starts with connecting with Jesus internally in a deep and meaningful way. So thank you so much for watching today. Super thrilled to spend time with you. Make sure you subscribe. That'd be awesome. Any kind of comments, feedback would be fantastic. And as we finish today, we obviously need a joke, because clearly that's some of the best part of this whole series, whole time together, is, how about this one? A plateau, right? Flat, kind of makes thing. A plateau is the highest form of flattery. I know, it just keeps getting better. And next week, obviously, is going to be far superior to what you just heard. Thanks again for watching.